Are you summoning the courage to have the confidence to power through life's challenges? Hi, I'm Deborah Kozowski, three-time best-selling author, speaker, executive coach, and the host of the Millionaire Woman Show podcast. Today, I want to help you power through life's challenges. And, let's face it, life happens. And some people face challenges right head on, and they seem to do it with such ease. And then there's others, myself included, depending on the situation, that can find struggle in certain challenges. But it's all how we decide to frame the challenge. Do we rise to the challenge, thinking that we can go head on and take on any challenge that we face? Or do we find ways to avoid it or go around it and, procrastinate in dealing with some of it? It's real. The struggle is real if you see it as a struggle versus looking at something as a challenge and saying, okay, the challenges are here to help me learn and grow. What is the lesson I'm meant to learn here? And the difference between those who see things as a challenge to rise and grow to and rise up from versus someone who sees it as a struggle and getting caught up possibly in a negative spiral is often what happens, that everything's hard. Every effort is hard. And I'm here to tell you, you're here to do hard things. And it can be very challenging. No doubt about it. There has been some big challenges in my life. And at the time, I'm like, why is this happening? But the way to power through some of these challenges, and I'm going to share a few of my own personal example of some of the challenges that I've faced. At the time, it was like, wow, what do I do with this? But the biggest thing that I've learned through, whether it be a physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual challenge, is in order to push through, there's one secret ingredient, and it really has to do with taking action, being very intentional with your actions and being present in the moment, figuring out what this challenge is here to teach you. Number one, above all, is it's about keeping your promises and commitments to yourself as well as to others. When you keep those promises to yourself, you're honoring yourself and you're making yourself important, just as important the other people in your life. So, when you put something in the calendar saying like you're going to go to the gym, you're going to honor that commitment. And if you need to move it, you're going to make sure you move it to a place where it gets done. But often what happens is people come up with excuses or explanations as to why they couldn't follow through on that commitment. Now, if you're honoring yourself, you're going to maintain those commitments as much as you can. And then to others as well. You don't know the cost or the impact on others if you don't follow through on those agreements. Some people take it haphazardly and just cancel appointments, or they don't show up, or they don't follow through. And the impact on that can be so many different ways. It could be, is that person reliable? Are they consistent with their efforts? And, and it can affect a person's reputation when it comes to whether people are going to follow through and know that they can count on you. Keeping commitments and promises to yourself and others is important. It's an integrity, value issue where people will question how devoted you are, how loyal you are to a cause that you may commit to. So just for something for you to think about, are you keeping those promises to yourself? You need to make yourself important on that calendar of things that need to get taken care of. It could be the gym, it could be, making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure you're eating properly, whatever that commitment is that you have to yourself. Maybe you're working on a book, you're allotting time to work on a certain subject, or giving yourself hobby time or family time, that commitment is etched, that you're going to maintain that commitment. And it's so, so important. Number two is truly about leveling up. Now, this is about changing your state. I know there was a day that I had very little sleep, and I was considering, canceling out and not following through on some of my commitments, because I thought, man, how am I going to deliver when I don't feel 100%? And I know when it comes to these challenges that show up, it really comes down to really reevaluating what's most important to me. And when it comes to leveling up, there was a day that, that day that I had lack of sleep, I just wanted to put on the biggest, coziest sweater, bulky kind of clothes, just those comfy clothes. And I realized that that's not going to make me feel better. It's going to make me want to sleep more. So what I had to do is I dressed up, and I remember a time that I did a red eye. I was teaching for an entrepreneurial training company and did a red eye, and I was so tired. And again, there's no time to rest. I was going right on stage and going right in. So I got myself that huge cup of tea. I washed my face and reapplied my makeup so I felt fresh. I thought of different ways to what would make me feel fresh. So sometimes it could be, jumping up and down in one spot, some jumping jacks, just to get your body moving so it doesn't feel like it wants to hit that sleep state. And wearing clothing that is lighter. So if the room temperature is a little bit cooler, it certainly keeps me more awake. So really thinking about leveling up, changing your state. The third thing is really preparation. When you have an opportunity to prepare, role play, map out the actions that you want to do, the more prepared you are. And it comes down to practice, practice, practice. Know your stuff, whether it be in life, putting together a recipe, for example, or in your business, being able to articulate and sell the benefits and features and really engage people in what you're selling. And also, whether it be in your career in a leadership position, you need to be able to speak with conviction and believe in the vision and the mission of your organization and what you're doing and what you're wanting to lead people towards. So you really need to be able to articulate, be able to be confident, speaking with conviction. And in order to do that, you need to hone your skills, knowledge, and abilities. And it comes down to practice, comes down to role play, comes down to being mentored by someone and really stepping into that future, that potential of who you want to be. Now, the fourth one I like to call tools and resources. Like when I'm not feeling that well, or I feel like something's coming on, I hit David's Tea Cold 911, or I hit a ginger peach tea or something like that, that I know that, or, tea and honey, something that's going to really look after myself. I also look at, past successes, because often when we're feeling off and we need to power through things, we need to start paying attention to where did we succeed before? You see, success leaves clues. So you want to be paying attention to where you've had success before. You've faced challenges before. You're here and you can face more challenges, and that uncertainty exists all the time. But when you tap into your past successes, you're reminded of the tools that you use to push through other times. And you've put those resources in your toolkit. Then there's also the self-talk, to walk yourself through every single step, giving yourself words of encouragement, speaking to your greatness, walking into that potential of who I know you're meant to be. Because all of you, and all of myself included, we're favored to do great things. And I want you to realize with conviction that you need to show up because you deserve to win and step into that potential of who you are meant to be. I like to say the skin of who you're meant to be. And really tapping into the strengths that you have. See, when you start looking at the strengths you have, who you aspire to be, you can level up your game and really move into who you need to be. And when you do this, you're going to start taking the effort, which is number 5, is taking the efforts necessary and doing your best, giving your best every single day, putting in that 100% commitment, taking 100% responsibility, and completely detaching from the outcome. See, when we get hung up on the outcome, we're so focused on the outcome, we're not paying attention to the actions that we're taking. And we need to be really present, inspired, taking intentional action to really push through those challenging times, to rise above and know that you got this. You're stepping into your greatness and really focused in on the desire to win, knowing that you can be unstoppable when you can talk yourself through some of those challenges and taking the actions that you know are necessary to get the results that you want. And if you fall short, you can learn and you can reevaluate, reassess, and take new actions that will get you closer to your goal. You just don't give up after one time. In order to power through, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you go at it again with new knowledge, maybe even new skill, and maybe even new ability. And you're going to step into what you need to do to push through those challenges. The one thing I for sure know as a mom and some of the challenges that I've faced, just when I think that I'm just about to give it all up, I get that second wind from nowhere that I'm aware of. Just it comes from digging deeper and really stepping in and saying, you know what, I can give it one more shot, give it another shot. And when you put those efforts in, there is a compound effect that occurs to get you to the results that you want. But what happens is just about when we're about to hit that tipping point or about to give up, and if we do, we've missed the opportunity to seize that greatness and see things through. So I want to remind you of those 5 things. Keep those promises and commitments to yourself because you deserve to win. Level up when you're having that bad day, change your state. You know, another story I thought about is one time I had a tooth abscess. My face was swollen on one side and I was thinking, how can I show up? Showing up was the greatest thing I did, even though I didn't necessarily like how I looked at the time. It was the message I was delivering and my commitment to the people who I was speaking to that day. So you need to show up sometimes when you really don't feel like it, because you have made a commitment to yourself to be the best that you can be. And you've made a commitment to others to show up. And showing up is 80% of the battle. Also, that preparation, making sure you're preparing to win, preparing role play, mentorship, what it takes to get you to where you want to be, and tapping into those tools and resources. You've already had past successes. You've already have the strengths necessary to get things done. So I want you to pay attention to where success left you clues. And above all, take those efforts, detach from the outcome, and go get them. Thank you for joining me on today's video. Please go over to my website at www.deborahkozowski.com, where you can get your 3-part video course of Making Habits Stick, where you can build focus and consistency into your goals, your dreams, knock them out of the park, and make them a reality. And if you're interested in coaching, please DM me or send me an email at deborahkozowski.com. Deborah@deborahkozowski.com, where we can set up a complimentary coaching session for you to find out if we are the right fit to get you well on your way, whether it be life, leadership, or business. Let's make things happen together.